Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Arsenal 3, Leicester 1. The Gooners destroyed the Foxes today. And Brendan Rodgers may just start to stare down the barrel again. Two humbling, disappointing defeats in the space of a week for Brendan Rodgers and the Foxes. But Arsenal Football Club, for me, it's a monumental week. The show of strength to come from behind twice, to win two very important games in their season. One, to keep climbing up the league, to keep cementing the growth that they have had. The second, of course, the wonderful comeback against Benfica. But two back-to-back comebacks for me also demonstrate this newfound strength, this newfound strength within the Arsenal team, within the Arsenal setup. Arteta outers absolutely in the mud. We're going to be opening up the lines for you to come on and have your say. Smash the like button. Share this stream on all your social media platforms as well. The only fan channel that enables you to phone in, to have your say, to get involved as well. It's not just listening to what we've got to say. It's getting involved as well. The whole shebang, the complete caboodle. As my dad would say. I don't want to say the word caboodle anymore, but there we go. Just look at some of your comments coming in here. Worst season for Arsenal, and they are above Spurs. That is absolutely true. If you're a Gooner and you are not celebrating that as a small little victory, you're not a Gooner. You're not a Gooner. You're simply not a Gooner. Arsenal in 9th place, pipe down Arsenal fans. Listen, no Gooner's going to get ahead of themselves. They're not acting like they're back, right? KJ will say they're back, but they're not back. However, they have to be proud of their achievements. They have to celebrate. They have to celebrate this last week. A miniature party for wonderful success. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Big dub for my boys. I love this game. Vardy in the mud. E-Boss, one of our long-standing Arsenal members of the Football Terrace, says Leicester are bottlers. We will see. We will see. If you're a Gooner, make sure you're smashing that like button. If you're a Chelsea fan, what a result for you today. If you're a Liverpool fan, what a result for you today. For a Man United fan, what a result this was as well. A massive thank you to Arsenal for that. Smash the like button if you support any of them teams. Who was your man of the match? I'm not going to reveal mine right now because my man of the match is one of today's secret words. In the envelope here, the 3 secret words. One is today's man of the match. It's a player, of course. One of the words describes a Premier League manager. The other describes a football Twitter term for like a football tactic. Guess those words. Oh, it's 1-0. Gareth Bale scores in the opening minute for Tottenham. It's 1-0 to Tottenham as it stands right now as well. Wow. We're giving away, next week, Friday, we are giving away £100 of Amazon vouchers to go into the draw for that. Guess one of the mystery words inside the envelope. Get it right, and you go into that prize draw. Get that done right about now. A lot of people saying Arsenal are back. Listen, it's not even about Arsenal being back on mid-table vibes. Give Arsenal respect. 2 excellent comebacks in the space of a week. And Leicester are considered better than them in every way, which form. They didn't just come back today against Leicester. They slapped them. Big shout out to Willian. Best performance, in my opinion, from him in an Arsenal shirt. He was excellent. There's no doubt about it. I thought Pepe had another really good game in an Arsenal shirt as well. And on top of that, you've got to give Arteta strength. The positivity, the aggression, the assertiveness, the proactivity from Arsenal after going a goal down was exceptional. Exceptional today. No doubts about it whatsoever. We have one of the first super chats of the show in right now. It says, phrase in the envelope. This is from CFC Indo Blue Army. He says Willian. So we've got one guess in there for the man of the match. Keep your guesses coming in. We've got Shadman who says Willian was man of the match. Shadman guessing it as well. Well, remember, we've changed the rules slightly on this. If you guess it, as long as you get it right, you go into the prize draw. So keep those guesses coming in. We've had 2 so far that have guessed Willian for the man of the match. Keep your guesses coming in to go into that prize draw. Yes, we know it's 1-0 to Spurs already. We're going to get the panel on already for you because we've got so many match reactions today. We're going live after Tottenham. We're going live after Man United, Chelsea. We're going live after the Liverpool game. And we also have a watch-along today. We're piloting a new idea for watch-alongs for the Chelsea-Man United game. So make sure you're tuning in to that as well. Let's get the panel on without any further ado. Then we're going to share the link to get you to come on and have your say. Let's do this, people. Yes, yes, yes. We've got man like Igao in the house. Kesh is here as well. Another game, another comeback. Igao, what you got to say, bro?
This is what happens when your team comes and they're concentrated. Because today, yes, the goal was silly that we conceded, but the remainder of the game we were professional. We had better players on the pitch than them. Obviously, if you look at their 11, Leicester were really they're really down a lot of men. When you look at it, I think they have as many injuries as, or maybe even closest to Liverpool when it comes to injuries now, with the amount of injuries they have. So big up to Leicester for even giving us a good game. But you know what? At the end of the day, we were too much for them. We got the goals from set pieces. We got a penalty. We got a penalty disallowed that I felt like was a penalty all day long, even though it got disallowed. But hey, it was right. They right the wrong by giving us another penalty later in the game. And you know what? It was a professional job. Stand up to the boys. Good day. You made my Sunday a good Sunday, and I'm happy. So I'll keep it moving. On to the next
Just on
one.
that, you thought the first penalty was a penalty?
Yeah, because I watched it back and he was actually inside the box when he made the contact. So if they're saying it was a foul, but it was outside the box.
Hang on. When who made the contact? Ndidi?
I thought Tillemans made the contact.
No,
he didn't.
It was indeed
Okay,
outside the box.
If it wasn't Tillemans, then fine. It was outside the box. But I thought, from my angle, I thought Tillemans made the foul, and I seen a picture of it, and it looked like Tillemans was making the foul from inside the box. So that's why I was saying it was a penalty.
The first angle made it look like it was a penalty, but when VR actually went back and looked, it was the initial touch on Ndidi that made him go forward.
Yeah, I kind of, I felt today with VAR. I felt VAR today got everything absolutely spot on. I thought it actually had a really good day. No controversies. The penalty you got was a penalty, as an example as well. Kesh, that's for me, two excellent comebacks in the space of a week for Arsenal. What does this tell you about the mentality of this Arsenal team?
It tells me nothing, Terry. It tells me nothing. Listen, like, we played well, and I'll give the credit where the credit's due. This is something that I expect of my club. My club should be able to go 1-0 down and actually come back. I think this is the first time we've done it in the league this season, I think, and actually got 3 points. So long may it continue. I know you just said about the VR got it right, but personally for me, that handball, you shouldn't need to go to VAR. VAR shouldn't need to let the referee go over to look at that. It was blatant. Yeah. But no, we played well, man.
No, I agree with you with that. For me, though, I mean, again, I look at it as a rival, so my view is always going to be a little bit different. But I've seen Arsenal do it a number of times recently where they're coming back in games, they're staying strong in games, and they're just doing things which they don't normally do. Does that make sense? Like for me, earlier on in the season, if you went a goal down the way you did, there's absolutely no way, not a cat's chance in hell that you were coming back. Does that make sense?
And yeah, I'll get you.
No pressure, Terry. Though there's no pressure. There's no actual. When the problem with us has been, whenever there's pressure and there's something that we need to do, we don't do it. Today, you seen the freedom.
I disagree, bro. I think there was massive pressure on Thursday night because that would have been season over.
Maybe pressure today as well.
It's the relief. It's the relief. It's the relief of a Thursday situation, and going into today's game, knowing that win, lose, or draw, it's not gonna dampen your season as much.
No. I disagree.
That's what I feel like.
I disagree. There was massive pressure on today. Like at the end of the day, it's a Premier League. Yes, because we ain't gonna reach our target. Well, it looks like we're not gonna reach our targets of getting into Europe. But you still playing a game. You're playing against a team that's been performing all season. The pressure is still there to go and get 3 points. Whether the team's been weakened or not, you still expect these lot to perform. And this is why I go back to when people say Pepe needs a run of 4 games to perform. He's not started how many games, and he performed today. So that completely debunks everyone's point that you need 4 games to perform. You play for Arsenal Football Club. Whether you're starting or not, I expect you to put in a good game. Whether it's an outstanding game or it's just a game where you're involved in the game.
What about Willian?
What I expect.
What about Willian? What about all the people who were saying Martinelli needs to play? Martinelli needs to play. Listen, the manager knows these players. He sees these players. He knows what he's doing. At the end of the day, if we can't always contradict everything they're doing. Today, he got it spot on. Everyone who was making fun of the team lineup before the game, give the man credit. Today, Willian came and he showed up. This is the guy Chelsea we're talking about when he shows up for a couple games this season. This season, he showed up for a handful of games, and today was one of those games. Give Willian the credit he deserves today. A lot of people have, but I also want the apology to be as loud as the insult. You guys were insulting Arteta pregame for not playing Willian. Today, he got it right. I'll give it up to him.
Listen, another guess here for our mystery word or my man of the match. Willian is what Ash here has said as well. Get your name into the draw to win the £100 Amazon vouchers with a super chat guessing my man of the match or two of the secret phrases. One is a football tactic and the other is a name we use to describe a Premier League manager. We're going to go into the calls now to see what the viewers have got to say. Make sure you're all smashing that like button right now, people. Share the stream on your social media platforms as well. That'd be amazing if you could. Web Creative here says Arsenal with some flaming emojis. There's a lot of salt there. Do you know what I see, right? This is how I know it was a good week for Arsenal. The rivals are out in force to try and put you down. That always tells me that you've had a really good week. Comment here says, but Igal, it's only today in Fulham where he really has stood up, and Sheffield to a lesser extent.
What about Wolves? What about even Benfica? He came on and he was a little bit more of an option than Emil Smith-Rowe. So we can always pick fun at one player, but when they do well, let's give them credit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making fun of you as a fan or anything.
I hear you. Akeen here has guessed Pepe is the Terry's man of the match. Terry being me. Are there going to be 2-0 Spurs? Good save by Pope. Good save by Pope. Spurs are on fire during this game right now. Let's go to our first caller of the day. We're going to get young Samuel on the line. Samuel, what you saying, mate?
Bro, you know what? It's a miracle, Terry. It's last year February and winning has a good game in the first time in 6 months, you know. I don't know where this came from, but you know what? Big up to Willian, you know. People criticizing Arteta in the first 10 minutes of a game, you know, for changing the lineup when they were complaining that these players need rest. So it's kind of hypocritical. I can't say the word. My brain just farted there, but that's had a brain fart. But you know what? Good performance today. You know, we played better, Igal. I'm going to run this agenda again, Igal. We played very good football today, and you knew who was in the lineup? Hector Bellerin. He wasn't playing right back, and Pepe was unleashed today. So that's a coincidence, isn't it, Igal? No Bellerin.
Listen. That is completely irrelevant. Just leave it.
I'm just saying.
You know what I will say about Willian, and it's the thing that I was saying throughout these months where he's playing shit. Yeah, I said he's not being direct. He's getting on the ball. He's got no idea. He's always going backwards. He's always playing against himself. Today, what you've seen is a player that's trying to be direct. He's trying to be inventive, and that was the difference today.
Also, I just want to add on David Luiz, bro. This guy had after the horror show on Thursday, you know, he finally improves and has a really good game. I'm guessing Terry's man of the match was David Luiz. Is that
I'm not going to reveal it until the end, am I? But there we go. Listen, young Samuel, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really do appreciate that. The StreamYard link, 1 second, mate. The StreamYard link is on the Discord server as it stands right now. We also put it in the chat room as well. We want you to come on and have your say about this game. Next up, we've got a Chelsea fan coming in. We've got Ryan, the Chelsea fan, coming back on the show all the way from Jamaica. I want to know what Chelsea fans think about this, and Man United fans and Liverpool fans, because it's probably a better result for those clubs today than it is Arsenal in the grand scheme of things in the league. Ryan's on with us now. What are you saying, Ryan?
Hey, Terry, what's going on, man?
Yeah, good. I'm good. What did you make? One, how happy are you with Arsenal's win? And secondly, what did you make of their performance today?
Yeah, you know, hey, guys, what's going on, man? You know what?
I'm good, man.
Yo, you know, Terry, when I wake up and I catch the game late, so I see Arsenal down, bro. I start take some notes because I said I'm coming for Eagles so bad because you know what? I want Arsenal to win so bad to just keep, let's say, you know, because I don't want, and I'm sure you want Arsenal to win to Terry because you didn't want them to go, right? Right. Yeah. So I start to take them some notes and I'm like, yo, I'm going to come for Eagles so bad, man, if he can't win this game. And then Fury, man, he beat a wounded dog today because, you know, Leicester wasn't on it today. Maddison out. And they just look like a different team with Maddison out. You understand what I'm saying? So fair play to you. I don't want to take too much from you. I just want to say to you that big up to Agent Willian, because I hear you guys bashing him so bad and we'll send him over there. It's just that I don't know what happened to him, why he takes so long to click in, but I know he can put in a shift now and then. I'm not saying
Ryan, you know why he played well today? Chelsea released him from duty to help them with their top 4 charge. That's why he played well today.
I didn't hear that. Go again.
I said Chelsea released him from his agent duties. And that is why he performed today, to help you guys chase top 4.
I've
To
never
hope we
heard that
take-
before in my life.
To hope we stay top 4.
I said you release Willian this season, this game, to help you not get top 4. That's why he performed today. Because Leicester is your rivals for top 4.
I don't think I get it, but what I'm saying, he helped. Yeah, I don't think I didn't hear you well, but what I'm saying, I think he helped us because that's when he go in and put in the shift. So Leicester can jump up.
That's what I just said.
Right, yeah.
He's saying all season, Willian's been an agent. He's been dropping bad performances to like stick one to Arsenal. Today, he's released from duty and told, go play your natural game.
Oh, I hear. Yeah, I couldn't hear you so clearly.
There we go.
Right. So that's why I said I was so gassed when I'm watching it and saying I'm coming for Eagles so bad if you can't pull off this win, man. So because I need them to pull off as a rival, I need them to pull off this win, and I'm sure Man U fans need them to pull off this win too. So
it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. David Luiz also scored also.
So that's what I'm saying. It's a two-way thing. Yeah, it's a two of them.
Agent.
Two of them are saying over
just
because
everyone. Harry Kane has just made it 2-0 to Tottenham today. Alex and Eleanor in the mud. They're going to be crying. They're going to be angry that Jose's having a good performance. And Harry Kane. Oh, it's a bit of a deflection, but he won't care. Good goal for him. From your point, I want to ask a question here to everyone on the call. Though I'm going to go to Ryan first. Do you think Leicester are going to bottle and crumble and fall away in this top 4 race again?
That's what I've been saying, man. You see the difference with big team. Brendan Rodgers is a good manager, but I just feel like the squad that he have don't have that mentality to keep up there. They win the Premier League, yes, fair play to them, but that was a one-off. You understand? And we all know that. This is the test. We see that last season they fail and see it coming back again now. It's coming down into the last part of the season. Now you think people would say it's easier for them because they're out of the European League, but I just feel like they just don't have what it takes to stay up there when the pressure is on them. As soon as they hit the bump to go second or go even closer from who's near to them, like third place, they're under pressure. And I don't want to put too much on the injury from Maddison because, listen, man, Brendan Rodgers have this team playing. It's not a one-man team. You understand what I'm saying? You find people pick up from little heroes and come and put in their shift. I just feel like they don't got it, Terry. Honestly, to say that, I feel like they're gonna fall right out of it.
Okay,
Same
right. Listen,
like last season.
We'll speak to you after the Chelsea United game, bro.
I didn't give you my prediction, but I have this game, man. It's gonna tight. It's not a big score. My prediction later for me, Terry, is either I go 1-0 or 0-0 draw. There we go. Right, so see you later.
See you soon. Thank you. Take care. Ads here in the comments is destroyed. They took advantage of a bad situation, just like Chelsea. They can't be a fully structured team. The only reason why is because they ain't consistent. Ads, I politely disagree with you, bro. I think Arsenal did an amazing job today. There's no doubt. Next caller on the show is going to be, who we're going to get on next is Realistic Gooner Laurie back in the house with us. Laurie, what you saying, bro?
What's going on? What's going on, people?
Something.
You good, yeah?
Yeah, what's in your mind?
Yeah, no, solid performance today. Solid performance. It shows that sometimes when the mindset is there that we can get the job done. Back-to-back wins. All this, I wouldn't say it's a myth, but this creativity business that we keep talking about, granted some of the goals were set pieces, but we've scored 6 goals in the last 2 games. So, like I've always been saying throughout the season, it's just getting that stability. Once we've got a settled team, then I think we can push on. And once we get a few key signings in, we can actually get into a better position and start challenging for that top 4 again, which is where we should at least be, bare minimum. But on today's performance, it was very professional. We got the job done. We concentrated and we showed discipline and a backbone, something that we haven't had for a while. So if we can keep those leaders that we have got, the few leaders that we have got fit as well, then I don't see why we can't be optimistic and hope for better things next season. Not that this season's completely written off yet.
I get it. So, I mean, Harry, when you listen to what Laurie's just said there, do you feel like these performances in the last week or so, are they giving you hope for next season that you can, go on and achieve a top 4 finish?
Yeah, it has. But then you saw in the first 10 minutes or whenever Leicester scored that we're always complacent to making mistakes, aren't we? So whatever circumstance of the game, whether it's like a massive European tie or a tough Premier League game away, for whatever reason, we don't have the ability just to not concede for 10 minutes. You saw West Ham at City, right? They had decent go at City because they kept themselves in the game. So whether it's a personnel decision, whether it's just an error, whatever it is, we just can't seem to start the game as well as we should. So we've got reason to be optimistic for next year for sure, but ultimately Arteta's hands will always be tied if we keep on making individual errors. And that's not to be negative, that's just a fact. We were lucky today that Leicester were still wounded from Thursday night and we had the confidence. So even though we did concede that goal in the first 8 minutes, I know commentary was saying we look a little bit lackluster, but I thought we actually started pretty well. I thought Leicester looked fairly flat. We just gave away a silly goal, but then after that, it was all us. It was all us, and there's a lot of fans tweeting now like a narrative of like fair play to Arteta or like, you know, hold my hands up. But it's like you haven't got to hold your hands up. The team was rotated for a reason. You know, look how many players got injured today. These are human beings. If we all play 90 minutes football tomorrow, we're going to be knackered for 2-3 days. Premier League players do it at a greater intensity. So you can't just play every single player every game. You fly to Greece, you don't get your normal recovery. You don't have a 4-hour flight back. You don't have to get to the training ground to do all these things. All your procedures are broken. And then, you know, Piers Morgan tweeting like, "Where's Aubameyang? I mean, he's our best player. Why isn't he starting?" It's like these guys aren't robots, man. If Arteta could play a full strength team every game, he would, but he can't.
Well, do you know the irony in that as well is listening to doing the football terrace now for 4 years, covering the top six and now the top 6 plus 1 like we've done this whole time. Did you hear from
Behave, Terry. We're not plus 1. It's a little
sorry, bro. I'm getting 6 plus 1. It's happening. But like we've been doing that this whole time, right? But the one that I always notice is how fans have different views. So Arsenal fans are crying that today and other games, I've seen it, we're not playing our best team every single game. Why are we rotating? Man United fans keep crying that Ollie plays our best players too much and we should be rotating more. And it just sometimes it's interesting. I listened to what Ollie said this week, and I use Ollie as an example because he is rotating. He didn't rotate as much. And he basically said that a player getting 45 minutes midweek is better for their better for their recovery and better for their prep for the game than missing the match. And Ollie isn't like, Ollie's definitely getting that advice from doctors, and physios and experts. And sometimes I just sort of sit there, as much as I should have an opinion on football, when you hear a manager, doesn't matter if it's Arteta, doesn't matter if it's Ollie, doesn't matter if it's Pep, they're being advised by professionals. And, you know, you sort of sit there and think, no disrespect, Dave from Clacton-on-Sea, but what are you talking about, bro? Like, do you get what I'm saying? They're not going to, players get tested. And the irony as well is we've all got players in our squads that we think we want to see them play more, but they're not used a lot. Why? Because they're crocs, they're injury prone. Matip at Liverpool, Bay at Man United, Arsenal over the years. You know, Jack Wilshere this damn week came out and said, basically, I got all my injuries because I didn't listen to the physios. I didn't listen to the experts. And they got, you know, overplayed, did the wrong things, rushed back, etc., etc. I think football fans have got to rise up, wake up, start smelling the coffee and understand that rotation is key. You know, we're all bemoaning Jurgen Klopp at the minute for not rotating enough in the last 2 years, and that's why his team's falling apart. And now Gooners don't want the rotation. The hypocrisy, honestly, it stinks like a rotten fish.
And the thing is, Terry, they don't even listen to the logic of the changes. First of all, Cedric for Bellerin, no-brainer. El Neni, because Ceballos picked up a knock before the Man City game, and also Pate's coming back from injury, so that makes sense now. Pepe coming in automatically makes sense. Lacazette coming in automatically makes sense because Aubameyang's been playing 3 games in a row now. And then finally, the one that everyone's mad about puts in a performance like that. So everyone needs to just understand sometimes.
Yeah, man. There's a reason for every decision. So when you're thinking before the game, like, why isn't this player starting? Why isn't that player starting? Ask yourself the question. Like, that's the first thing to do. Don't make it as a statement. Ask yourself the question and say, well, the reason why this player isn't starting is because, like Igal said, because Partey's still coming back from injury. The reason why Bellerin isn't start playing is because he hasn't been very good. And there's all these reasons. The reason why Martinelli isn't playing is because he hasn't been great when he's come on and he hasn't made a statement. And there's all these reasons why Arteta makes decisions. And today, Arteta got it bang on, 10 out of 10 for the team selection, for the team substitutions, for the way we manage the game.
Brendan Rodgers got it wrong. Rodgers got it wrong. Look at Johnny Evans went off injured. Harvey Barnes went off injured. I don't wish anybody injuries, but I'm looking at this right now. Look at Leicester's injuries. Harvey Barnes, Wesley Fofana, James Justin, James Maddison, Wes Morgan, Perez, Dennis Pratt. Oh my God, like these guys got injuries.
And we all said that about Emil Smith Rowe, didn't we? We all said it about Emil Smith-Rowe, saying, "Oh, you know, he looks tired. He looks like he can't cope with the demands of the game." And today he gets injured, and that's what it is. Like the players that can play every game, Xhaka, Tierney, you know, who are naturally fit. They're the players that will most likely always play when there's a 90% fitness there.
And what you'll find is these clubs at this level, everyone's getting tested. I'm sure the phrase is like, "Are you red zoned?" You know, is your body at a point where it's about to break down and get injured? Some players, some athletes, some human beings have the ability, just the Duracell bunnies. They can keep going and going and going. Other people, it doesn't work like that. We have it at Man United. Why doesn't Bailly play? Listen, it's because his body ain't right. I'm telling you, it's nothing to do with his footballing ability. It's because I guarantee it's off advice of doctors. Man United this season, high rotation. City, high rotation. Arsenal to a degree. They started badly, but you got the rotation there. We're now seeing teams that have barely rotated really struggling. One of the reasons Chelsea's resurgence has come in is because 2 or 3 of the players that Tuchel's now using hadn't played the majority this season. They're fresh and they're vibrant and they're ready to go. You know, I know he's out injured now. I look at Donny van der Beek at Man United. I've always had this vision. I've said it on the streams many times. I think we might see quite a bit of him in the back end of the season, and he'll come in fresh, you know, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Football fans sometimes have got to wake up. You always get it, as you say. Why ain't my favorite player playing? Maybe he's not working hard enough. Maybe he's getting patterns wrong in training. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's your favorite guy is the reason he's not playing. It's always got to be a tin hat sort of a tinfoil hat solution. It's the player must have nudes. He must have slept with the manager's daughter. You know, he must have a personal issue with him. Like, no, most of the times it's medical, and some of the times it's tactical. It's simple as that. Laurie, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Cheers, brother. Next up, we're going to be getting Military Gooner TV on. Before that, Ads here, the super chat says, "I was only joking. Arsenal did play well. They had ambition and took their chances. But I've said to the lads before, they need to do it consistently. Of course, Arsenal need to do it consistently. I think most Gooners would agree. Keep getting your super chats in. Guess my man of the match from today and my 2 mystery words. Then you'll be entered into, if you get them right, you'll be entered into the draw to win a £100 Amazon voucher on Friday when we do a draw live on the air. We're still sponsored by Manscaped, so you can still get your 20% discount off of all their male grooming products, and keep using it even for your recurring orders. I know many of you have put in. I had an update the other day. They were like, we're so impressed with the Football Terrace community. And it's great because on the 21st of June, you need your dolphin beaks and your kiwis absolutely pristine, in good condition, fresh, fine and dandy, because there's going to be a baby boom in March 2022, 110%.
It's already happened.
The under 25s. It is coming. But make sure you're fresh and you're dandy with your lawnmower, courtesy, you hear that bad boy there, courtesy of Manscaped. All the information is in our description below. Next on the show, Military Gooner TV is here. Brother, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say?
Really good win for Arsenal Football Club. And we tend to make games far more complicated than it should be. And I expected a win today still. And to be honest, I expected a win. But I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. I definitely knew it wasn't going to be that easy, especially when we conceded that early goal. I was like, here comes Aston Villa again. Here comes Manchester City game again. And hats off to the players. I've seen mentality shift for a good while now, and it keeps getting on better. And we have to work with that as well. Hopefully, this mentality shift can actually carry us throughout the season, because this part of the season is where the mental aspect of the season would be far greater than the physical aspect.
I completely agree with you that the mental element here is going to be really, really hard. And I know Arsenal season feels all but over in terms of the league, but you know what? For some pride, you're going to want to finish as high as possible. And then I think it's a case of using the league as sparingly as possible, almost using the league as the training exercises to work towards the Europa League goal. That's what I would be doing right now, because finishing 10th and finishing 6th, there isn't really much difference in the grand scheme of things for Arsenal. If you could avoid the Europa League next year, it may not be the end of the world from a footballing point of view. But then I suppose you need to try and get, I still don't understand what this conference thing is about, bruv. It's a madness and whatnot. But there we go. Who's your man of the match today?
I definitely have to give it to Willian. Pepe was really great as well, but Willian stand out. He really stand out, and based off previous form and what he displayed today, we cannot deny that he really come and gave us a show.
I hear that. Listen, bro, thank you very much for coming on, having your say. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Next caller, we have got Fixer on the line. Fixer, welcome back to the Terrace. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, basically, I just wanted to say, well done, Arsenal. I mean, it was a good game for Arsenal. This is the second time in a week or so they've come back from behind to turn over a game. So, you know, that's not an easy thing to do. You know, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of like focus to be able to do that. I mean, they were like 10 minutes away from getting kicked out of Europa, and they turned it around. So, you know, I mean, I'll give Arsenal where credit is due. You know, they're coming up, and I really admire it. I also want to say to Igal, I really admire the way you support your club. You know, I think you're one of those fans who like, you know, who shows commitment. You know, I've been on the Terrace many times where Arsenal have lost, and you've always defended them. You always stood up for them, and I think that's really good. You know, it's always good to like support your team no matter what. Saying that, I think it's good for us Manchester United fans because Leicester again have bottled it and giving us the opportunity to like solidify second place. All we have to do is get a result out of Chelsea today. We don't even have to win. We just have to like get a draw, and you know we're in there. You know, with a shout of securing that second place going forward. You know, yeah, that's basically it really.
On your Agal point, 110%. Yeah, win, lose or draw, Agal, Kesh, the guys here. The only reason Adam's not here today is because he's at his own house and he's got terrible Wi-Fi and internet. Until they fix that, that'll be the same. But the Leicester thing, look, Leicester dropping points today is massive for Chelsea and Man United. I don't want to lose today. Chelsea fans don't want to lose. But losing now isn't the end of the world because of Leicester's result. It gives you a silver lining, if you like. Ramsey's joined us now as well, fully masked up. What are you saying, Rams?
Yes, we're back. We're back. KJ would say, I'm here for KJ. We're back. Nah, man. Listen. Big win for us today. I'm similar with what the guys are saying about the lineup. I mean, I predicted a similar sort of lineup, and I think a lot of non-Arsenal fans or people that were maybe not following us closely would have seen that we played a full-strength squad against Olympiacos twice, Man City and Leeds, and hadn't really changed many players. And I feel like even though looking forward there's no game in 6 days, they've all played a hell of a lot of games. And I think coming back late from Athens yesterday or Friday evening just meant that he needed to make changes. And don't get me wrong, it's a risk. It's 100% a risk. And if if we lost today, Arteta would have got in the neck from everyone. Why are you dropping Saka? Where's Saka? Where's this guy? Where's that guy? But Leicester played on the same day as us, and they had to play their full strength squad. And then look what happens now. You know, they lose and they get injuries. And you know, I think Rodgers has just said to media that Barnes needs surgery on his knee, so that could be him done for the season. And I mean, like, you know, that could have been Saka today. That could have been Saka today for playing so many sort of games. So you've got to manage these players. You've got to manage the fitness of these players. And now we look to Burnley in 6 days with a completely fresh Saka. Obviously, we even picked up an injury ourselves with Smith Rowe. But, you know, we got enough of a squad to now say, okay, we've got to now play Burnley next week. And then we've got a massive game against Olympiacos.
Bro,
one thing you mentioned, all those guys that were rotated, Willian leads the team in assists. Like I said, leads the team in goals. So a lot of these players that are being rotated are actually leading us in these statistical categories. So it's actually showing that we do have some squad depth that people didn't think we did. So I'm impressed.
Listen, I think as well, there's certain fans who don't want Arteta to succeed, Arsenal fans that don't want Arteta to succeed, or they will always look for the negative. So when he rotates, it's a negative. If he played them, it would be a negative. It doesn't matter what he does. You're always going to see them be negative about it. It's almost, I see it with Man United fans with Ollie. It's we win, they're negative. We lose, we're negative. Someone gets injured, they're negative. If you know someone doesn't come on, if someone doesn't come on in the exact minute of the game, they want a player to come in, they're negative. Like it's almost like they feel like their football club literally revolves around them. Like they're the center of Arsenal's universe, and you have to do exactly what I say. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy. It's a little bit strange, to be honest with you. Fixer, thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Next up, Brandon's here with us. Brandon's an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, mate?
I can't lie, Terry. I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. I was one of them fans,
I mean,
by the way.
I'm going to be honest with you, bruv. You look like you're freezing.
I am.
Get the
I am
heating on.
Yeah,
vicious
put
to
the heating
heat,
on,
mate.
buddy.
It's no
Get your
good.
heating on, bruv.
Yeah, no, I can't lie. I was one of them fans who was questioning the lineup a bit today. I understand we needed to make a bit of a rotation and that. I wasn't so sure with the players that were coming in. I like Granit Xhaka and El Neni as a midfield pivot. I was kind of thinking, where's the creativity going to come from? But you can't lie. He got it right today. Arteta got it right. Willian, man of the match for me. I can't believe that's actually coming out of my mouth. But yeah, you can't lie. He got it right. Nicolas Pepe as well. Very, very good. It ain't no coincidence that when he's got Cedric behind him, he plays a hell of a lot better.
Mate, I know you're buzzing. Are you going to give us a song today? Come on, bro.
No.
He's a really good singer, legitimately. Little Michael Bublé over there. Do you know what I mean? Doing his thing. Little 3-0 to Tottenham, by the way, Gooner. So you are going to drop back down in the league again. It was short-lived.
Come on, Burnley. Come on, Burnley.
They're on fire today. Brandon, listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. Thank you very, very much indeed. We have a super chat here from Legend Sweet, who says this is I think it means this is the Farmers League, not even the Premier League anymore. I've never asked Harry this question. I know we've gone through it on the terrace a few times. From your point of view, Harry, do you think the quality of the league is getting worse, or the quality is just spread more across teams because everybody's got money now?
Yeah, I think the latter. I don't think the quality's got worse. I think that the teams below have stepped up because they can attract players who previously they couldn't. And then teams like us and Spurs have maybe stagnated a little bit. You could argue that the quality's dropped down in terms of the top six. You know, now you're seeing us and Spurs drop out of that. But then you could also argue that the rise of Villa and West Ham and Leicester and Everton shows that the league is getting stronger. And also, maybe not this year as much, but there is no easy game in the Premier League. Like, every game is hard. I look at Leicester's next 3 games. I think they've got Burnley, Brighton and Sheffield United. And on paper, you go, yeah, they're easy games, but they're not, because those teams are fighting for points and every point matters. So I don't think it's a farmer league. I think it's a really strong league with really strong players, which is why if you go through every team in the league, most teams would take a player for their squad. You know, apart from Man City, you know, most teams will look at a few players at the teams at the bottom and go, yeah, he could do a job for us. So I think it's a decent league. We just happen to be a bit average. Terry, can I ask you a quick question? You know what you said about fans' opinion and their nature to be naturally negative. Do you think that can impact a team's progression, or do you think that negative energy can have a negative impact on the team? So maybe not now, but as an example, when we go back to the Emirates Stadium, if you've got 20,000 of our 50,000, 55,000 home fans who have a Arteta out vibe, and you know, and usually those guys dislike Bedouin, they dislike Xhaka, they want to see Martinelli play, all these things. Do you think that can have an impact on a team's progression, on a team's performance, short term, long term?
100%. Because I kind of, in recent times, you know, you get a lot of people say, "Oh, social media is not reality. It's like a separate bubble. It's a separate world." Yes, if you turn your phone off, you don't see it. If you stop reading it, you're not feeling it, right? So you can separate yourself, but it is still real people giving real opinions. The problem you have with social media, I say the problem you have is, in this day and age now, to get noticed, everybody wants it fast. Everybody wants to shock. It's shock value that every single person is going for. So it's big, powerful opinions to get themselves noted, to get themselves heard, to get their channels seen, to get their opinions out there. So that happens. In terms of the Emirates, so that will always have an effect. Why? Because players are on social media. The mainstream media is very clever. I think 70% of their articles now are just a reflection. It's almost like a mirror being held up to fans, and it reflects their opinion. Do you get what I mean? The amount of commentators are here talking about Man United not having no patterns of play and those systems, and you can't see it. And I'll be honest with you, maybe they're telling the truth, but I have this distinct feeling that they read what negative social media fans say and they go, I'm going to say that in my commentary because it's going to get people on. It's just too much of a coincidence. It's almost like they're reading a tweet from a negative fan at football club out loud. It just feels very weak. You see the newspapers doing it as well. They always pour on the same stories. If something trends amongst the fan group, within 2 or 3 days, you see it as an article in a newspaper, and it never used to happen. Started doing it in the last few years. In terms of impacting the ground, one second, Gal. In terms of impacting at the ground, absolutely, because human beings are fickle. Human beings are fickle. If you're a player, as example, and your team goes a goal down, but your fans, generally speaking, are behind your manager and behind your team, the reaction is different. That reaction and the energy that the crowd give off will impact the way you play. I'll go back this season with Liverpool. When they were 2-0 down against Villa and got it back to 2-1, I believe, in real terms, the Villa crowd would have got nervous and the Liverpool crowd would have got up. That nervous energy from the Villa fans would have impacted Aston Villa's team and they would have made more mistakes. I don't think they'd have been as clinical. Because there's no fans, that pressure didn't arise. So if social media for 6 weeks is building and bubbling up this atmosphere, half the Emirates Stadium, half of Old Trafford, half of Anfield had this negative feeling, even though on the day when the whistle goes, they're like, right, we'll back the team. It takes one mistake, a player that no one really rates to get sent off, a stupid own goal from Maguire, a terrible miss from Pepe, and it can just light the torch paper and it goes off. I think it has a massive impact. I think it has a huge fan. We've seen what's happened. The first time in British football history that the away teams have won more games in a top flight league than the home teams tells you that supporters are massively important to their football clubs, not even from a financial standpoint, from a supporters element. If your energy is negative, that is going to impact your team, there's no doubt. And what it also does, it makes players think, they don't like this manager, they don't like how we play. I don't know whether it's conscious or subconscious. Maybe I'll just drop my performance by 10%. Maybe I'll do that and it'll help it gets rid of the manager quicker and it gets rid of this hostile environment I'm working in. Like, that's how human beings think. We're all about self-preservation. So, and that's a long answer, but I think social media has a huge impact on how teams perform, how teams play, how they. It's why Man City never crumble, really, because they ain't got no fans to make them feel under pressure. So it's the perfect environment for them. So yeah, sorry, Ago, you were going to say something, bro.
Yeah, Terry, you used to be a match-going fan, and I'm not sure if all you guys are match-going fans, but I've spoken to a bunch of match-going fans, and they've told me the environment in the Emirates is completely different from social media. Once you go into Emirates, it's almost like everyone's neutral immediately, and only if the team's performance on the day is bad, you'll see that type of negative energy. You won't see the same energy that you see on social media. And also, when it's 10,000, 20,000 people, majority of those guys going into the stadium are fans that have had season tickets their whole entire life. Not going to be as negative Nellies as much as you're going to see on social media. So the atmosphere that you see on social media is nowhere near the atmosphere that you see in the stadiums. I've been to a couple games. I've never heard people cussing or yelling. But yet again, I've never been there during the most toxic times. I was there near when Alexis Sanchez left. That was one of the times I went to the stadium. The last game before COVID, which was the West Ham game, and a couple other games. But all the games that I went to, we were winning, and the team was never giving a bad performance. So luckily, I never been in those atmospheres.
I think you just echo. By the way, City fans who were getting annoyed, it was a joke. Please don't take a joke. I mean, come on. Like, this is one thing I'd say about society that worries me now more than social media is people's inability to take a joke. And do you know what I mean? I'm not saying anything crude or nasty or racist or sexist or xenophobic. It's saying you don't have any fans. It's actually quite a lame joke from me. It's like a lukewarm, like milk down tea shit joke. Like, accept it. But what you just said there, Agal, is right. So generally, match-going fans will support the team on the day because why would you spend your money to go there and be negative? However, when that negative feeling is there and it starts going wrong, it does happen. That's why towards the end of Wenger's reign, look how many people weren't turning up to games. Thousands. And it was a statement. And that in itself can be an impact. And that for me is why they got rid of Wenger. They started looking at going, well, if all these people don't renew, and it isn't even about renewing tickets, match day revenue is important. Cups of tea, buying burgers, buying programs. If 10,000 people don't turn up, that's hundreds of thousands of pounds a game of revenue they're not generating through the superstore, through programs. 15 quid for a burger and chips. Do you know what I mean? If 10,000 people ain't doing that, it's a lot of bloody money. And it all impacts a club and it makes clubs make decisions. And I also feel like bad owners, so I would put the Glazers into this mix, they listen to what social media is saying. For me, there's no doubt about it. If the Man United fans universally were backing Ollie, they would be more likely to back him. The same with Arteta, the same with the managers. They listen to the cracks while they leak. Daniel Levy's done it in the last few weeks. He's leaked a few stories. Let's see what the Spurs reaction would be like to Nangelsmann coming in and us backing Jose. And I think they judge it. I think they use, and social media is a tool for that. It's used by everybody for it. You put out a story, you put out a bit of an opinion. Let's see what the general consensus feels to this. Sometimes it goes wrong. Sometimes you do a Jess Glynn and you make a big song and dance about not being allowed in a plush restaurant wearing a hoodie, and everyone says, "Shut up, you're a knob. Just dress right." And there are other times you put out an opinion on socials and everyone backs you. And those two opinions that make me go, right, well, I'm definitely not going to moan about not being allowed into a really expensive restaurant in a hoodie. But I'll definitely moan about this injustice or this problem because it gets, and that's how people operate. And we change our lives and our behaviors based on what social media tells us. We really do. And anyone who denies it is mad because we've all seen it. It's why people now trying to gain notoriety on socials. It's why some will twerk for a rival. If I slag off, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I slag off Chelsea. Loads of Tottenham and Arsenal and United and QPR fans start following me and tell me, "Oh, you're so great, you're so unbiased, you're so brilliant." And it's addictive. It's addictive getting that attention, and it changes how you operate. So I think it's a mass. I wouldn't call it a problem. It's just the modern day world we live in.
It works both ways, though. I think if you're positive after a loss, or you try to look at the positive that you can find from the cracks of a loss, even that is considered negative. So you can't. Everything can be misconstrued.
But I think West Ham is the perfect example because at the start of the season, I remember listening to callers literally on the first day saying that, coming on here saying that, we're look at the way we're playing awful. The manager needs to go. Players aren't playing good, and then there's no fans in the stadium. Where if that atmosphere carried on inside London Stadium, it'll be toxic there. They'll be raging. They'll be throwing stuff. There's no fans there, and they're in the top four.
Fan attitude for you. When I say Super Saturday, London 2012, we all know what I'm referring to, right?
Yeah.
That stadium was on fire. The noise coming out of that London stadium on that night, because all 60 odd thousand people were cheering and celebrating. The energy was just, it transcended the whole country, the whole world. So for West Ham fans say you can't create an atmosphere in there, no, you're not trying to create an atmosphere in there. It's had one of the greatest sporting atmospheres in the history of British sport. Super Saturday 2012 in London, they did it. You can if you want to. However, you've gone in there with the attitude of, I don't like my new house. It's like I felt West Ham fans felt like it's happened to my old house, like where I lived on a housing estate. They knocked down the buildings we lived in and put us in these new places, and not a lot of people liked them, so nobody kind of embraced them. Does that make sense? That can't happen to West Ham fans. We're joined by Wax. Wax Online is with us. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, guys? You good? Yeah.
Yes, man. It's great to have you on the channel, mate. We'll kind of move the conversation on a little bit. We're talking about like fan pressure or social media, but what did you make of Arsenal's performance today? And of course, 2 back-to-back comebacks.
Yeah, you know what? It was unexpected. No one expected us to, go out there and, demonstrate our worth. I think when we see the lineup, it was a lot of people was upset. We thought it was going to be slow, lethargic. And, I thought the same thing going into the game. We kind of turned up. There was a few players that were a bit shaky, but I think today's performance was pretty awesome, man.
I hear you on that. And I know rivals always throw salt, and I can't. I think any kind of comeback's brilliant. You played 2 difficult teams, especially Leicester today, and you came back very, very well. And I think that the new strength and kind of ability for Arsenal to get out of moments of adversity has really impressed me as a neutral watching. And I think for Arteta to go through what he did, that terrible run over October, November, December, and to turn it around and keep this dressing room alive, whether people want to attack him tactically or not is up to them. The one thing you can't discredit about Arteta, he's clearly a good man manager. He's kept the players in this squad on side, and he's galvanized them. You don't need to be a fan. You don't need to think he's going to win you the Champions League or anything. But I think every single Arsenal fan universally should be in agreement with.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, he definitely gets props for today. As we said, we didn't expect it, but he got it. He got it bang on the money. Of course, styles of play sometimes it doesn't look that great. Slow, lethargic. Players are not really looking up for it. Sometimes you question that the mentality of the players, the mentality he's given the players. But today, man, you can't fault any of them. Pepe, even Willian, people didn't expect it. Willian's getting scrutinized, he gets butchered week in, week out. And today, I think he kind of stepped up, man. There were good runs with the ball, got 2 assists.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, man, it looks like it's going in a positive way, and that's what we hope. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to praise WILLIAN too much, but the amount of time he gets pinged the ball and he's right on the byline and he just takes the first touch and ping it straight back to feet. His short range passing was so reliable today. Like his ball responsibility was brilliant, which is why you play him over a Martinelli sometimes, because with the Martinelli it's going to bounce back a little bit much, or Martinelli's going to try and play a 1-2. WILLIAN today was really, really responsible on the ball. He showed his experience. His experience today.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you guys think of Martinelli? Why do you reckon Martinelli's not getting a run in the team?
For me, listen, Martinelli is a player with a very high ceiling, but I think we're getting carried away and we're not understanding that this is a player that needs time to develop. When you watch Martinelli, he plays at one pace. You can't, as a forward player, you can't just play at one pace. Understanding that, you've got to learn to involve your team in the play as well. Sometimes he wants to do it all on his own, and I feel that's something that Mikel Arteta has seen in his game, is trying to get out of his game, and also with the way we're playing as well. I know it's not been great and everything, but I don't feel it's a thing where he just wants to chuck him in. You played him against Chelsea when he first came back. Don't forget, he played against Man U as well. He didn't play so great, but he's just come back from injury. He needs to find the form to get and his rhythm. And I think there will be games where you will see a Martinelli start. So I don't understand the rush. Not everyone can be our Saka. That's what we need to remember.
I think we're just protecting the asset because we've noticed that he is quite brittle and coming back from injury after when did he get injured again last season? He got injured December. He came back this season around December. As Kesh said, he did play some games and found that they were telling Arteta he couldn't play the full 90 minutes against Manchester United. So those kind of things make me feel like, hey, if you can't trust him to play the full 90 minutes and he's constantly going to get injured, you might as well protect him because he is an asset that we have under contract for the next 4 or 5 years. So
a lot of people, I see a lot of questions like, Arteta doesn't rate him, or does Arteta rate him? I think Arteta definitely rates him, but he also rates Pepe left wing, Aubameyang left wing, Lacazette up front, Willian left wing, Emil Smith-Rowe left wing. The competition is massive, and like Kesh said, you just got to ease him in and not rush him, not force him to learn a game during the game. The reason why he got taken off against Man United was because of those recoveries. He made 2 great defensive interceptions, but the truth is he made it because he was so concerned about trying to attack, trying to get forward, and then he right his wrong area in terms of making those ball recoveries against Man United. So I just think just be patient. We're not losing games because Martinelli's not playing.
Sorry, he did get injured in the summer. I was mistaken. The one when he got injured at Chelsea.
I think again, I read great anticipation. I read Jack Wilshere's interview a couple of days ago, and he spoke about his injury problems and his injury concerns and everything else. And I think that that's something that needs to sort of be remembered, because I've seen the same interview theoretically about Theo Wilcock. I saw something about Michael Owen, about young players being played too much at 17, 18, 19, 20 and playing too much football too soon. And it can just burn you out. Every now and then you get a freak. You get a Messi, you get a Ronaldo, a Ryan Giggs that goes on forever.
Saka,
yes, I mean, even when you get the Rooneys and the Cesc Fabregas that were, in my opinion, they were almost world class at 17, 18, 16, 17, 18. They were just, I remember watching, I want to say it was 16, 17, it might have been a bit older, where Cesc Fabregas dominated the midfield against Juve in your road to the Champions League final back in 2006.
Highbury,
Think about those guys. They didn't have injury problems later in their career, but both Fabregas and Rooney for me would finish by the time they were 28 in terms of being impactful at the highest level of the game. So it's this point for me where I feel we just need to be a little. Not everyone can be a Haaland or an Mbappe where they are on point straight away. Also, Haaland's built like a man at 18, he's built like he's 27 years old. Everyone's just got to slow down a bit, because if you start playing Martinelli too much now, you play Greenwood too much now, as an example, maybe in 3 or 4 years, it damages you a lot more in the same way Jack Wilshere. And that's where fans do need to be more patient, if that makes sense. And I know we all want to win now. We want our best players on the pitch, but generally speaking, most football clubs know what they're doing. They're nurturing these players and whatnot now. But Martinelli's going to come good. I know he's had some major injury problems, but he's such a talented player, and it'd be a shame to kill him now physically by playing him too much.
No, but I just want to. Where did this agenda come from? Because I'm looking at this email, this tweet where it says Gabriel Martinelli did not start a single game under Unai Emery. He played 3 games of the 5 under Freddie Ljungberg, and under Arteta, he's already played 6 games, 3 before his injury, 3 after his injury, which he started in the Premier League. So where did this whole thing come from where Arteta doesn't trust him? Because Arteta has played him more than Emery. He's played him more than Freddie, obviously, because Freddie was there shortly. But this whole thing where he does not trust him, where did it come from?
You know what it is? I think people are just making the assumption of seeing a player on the bench and not being brought off the bench, and other players being selected before him and things like that. You know what I mean?
There were a few times when he definitely could have come on, like video away, but then there was a few circumstances which changed in game, like Wolves away, like Benfica, for example. If we bring Martinelli on and we do score an early goal, or we do score a winner in like the 78th minute, then you've got like 8 attackers on the pitch. So I think there's a few times when he could have come on, but circumstances changed.
I think Arteta, if you listen to what he says as well when he's post matches, where he always gets asked about it, especially after the Benfica one in the week, and they asked him why didn't you bring him on, and he said, "Well, Benfica are playing a deep line back 5, right? So there's no space in behind. Why would you bring on someone like Martinelli who loves to run in behind? There's literally no space. So you need someone who's a bit more technical on the ball, who can create like Willian. So that's why I chose to bring on Willian instead of Martinelli and Pepe, because they're the ones that are going to want to run at defenses. And Benfica weren't given any opportunity to do that. So why would I do that? So, but then if you look at the games he has played in, the Chelsea's and the Man United, they're 2 huge games, and he started them in both. Why? Because he probably reckons that Man United and Chelsea are going to come onto us and not sit a deep line at the back. So therefore, there'll be space in behind for him to run through. And he played against Man City as well. So it's like, you got to kind of be wary of where you kind of play him in. You play him in the games where you think he's going to have the space to run in behind, not necessarily games where the teams are going to sit back. So again, I think against Burnley next week, they ain't going to give us the space in behind. They're going to sit and hope we stop. So I can't see him starting then. But he also said today, you've got to find the right game to play him in. So I think he knows that. He's aware of that. And I think as long as Martinelli is not raging and unhappy, which I haven't seen in him so far, then I'm good with him just biding his time. And I reckon next season might be the one for him. I do.
Yeah. I hear that. Listen, I know we've got a few people waiting backstage, but the stream's got to end because I've got to prep for the next shows today. I've got like 4 more streams to do today. I'm already feeling knackered. Sorry, Cam. Sorry, Red. Sorry, everyone in the background. Aaron as well. Sorry, I can't get you all on today. Wax, thank you for making your debut on the channel, mate. Definitely going to get you on again soon, bro. Great channel you've got over there as well. Rams, always a pleasure. Igal, Kesh, Harry, you know the score. We had a super chat actually that says, with Martinelli, we don't want the same situation like with Bellerin, where his head is not there after injuries. We can't rush it. Even Tierney needs time. Big shout out and congratulations to Shadman, to CFC Indo, and to Ash that all guessed right. The man of the match I picked today was WILLIAN. So all your names go into the prize draw to win £100 worth of Amazon vouchers. That will take place on Friday next week. I don't know what the date is. I've not really thought about it. Was it the 4th or 5th or something? Anyways, Friday that's coming up. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless.